And they're off. Have fun out there, riders.
You see Matt there having a bit of a clipping issue. I end up bumping him. I apologize after the race. I hesitated just enough that people started to get pretty far in the distance right from the jump. So I probably should be on the power more here to go on and latch on. But I see my friend Anthony here. I said, okay, I can ride with him. I should be fine. And then we see last week's winner coming through. Probably a sign I should hop on his wheel and get to the front. But I don't recognize it immediately, because I feel like there's enough people in front of me and behind me that I should be in a good position. So I start to make my way onto Anthony's wheel, and I eventually make it right onto his wheel. But you can see, if you look off towards the right side of the screen, the front of the race is already pretty far ahead, and they're already working hard. The first 3 laps of this race, people were going full steam ahead. They were not waiting for anybody. So what I should do here is be right on Anthony's wheel and start working with him to catch back up. But I was trying to rest in his draft to try to save some energy, because I had faith that he was going to make it further along. Something that didn't register to me is he's pedaling at a higher cadence than I am, which at this speed shouldn't be possible, until you can see just about here the chain is sitting actually on the smaller cog. And I passed him right as he's trying to get it to shift. He couldn't quite get it to shift. I pull out, start to do a bit of power, and he finally gets his gear to catch and comes past me with more power than I already was putting out, and I didn't catch it. So he actually gets away from me. And I said, okay, well, there's still a rider right here. I can ride right with this guy. But this guy is actually a coach. So he was actually with these 2 development riders, and so he actually wasn't going to go in a catch on group. He was going to stay with his riders. But they were nice enough to let me hop on the back of these 2 riders they were coaching, and I felt like this was a good opportunity for me to actually spend some time working with a group and see what it's like. Now, I didn't ever pull through the front because I didn't want to interrupt the rotation they had. I felt like these kids were doing great by themselves at learning how to draft or rotate and get back on. So I just made sure I opened up a nice gap every time they rotated through so they could latch on, and they didn't have to think about me being back there. For them, they're beginners too. They're trying to learn, and I felt like the best thing for me to do was sit back, watch, learn, and draft a little bit. And so as you see, we are several laps into this race. I've stayed with them for a while and used this as a very good learning opportunity. So what eventually happens is we get to last lap, and not the leaders have already passed us at this point, but a chase group starts to come up. So I move over, let them by. This is, I'd call chase group 1, and there's a second chase group that my friend Anthony ended up being in. But they start to go and accelerate, and the 2 young riders decided, okay, they want to try to catch on. So by me kind of let myself get a little out of position, get off of their wheel, they kind of get away for a little bit. But I know I have enough power to catch up to them. And I appreciate that North Star Development Coach let me sit and work with them. Results are not much better than last week as far as placement. Being a lap down does put me a little further back from where I wanted to be. But finishing the race and having a much better heart rate this race, I felt like was a big improvement. Switching to the 4-5 race next week, so watch out for that video and see how things go.